All right, happy Monday, guys. Thank you so much for jumping on. I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. For those of you that don't know me, because there are lots of faces on here that I haven't seen or met before, my name is Naomi. I'm an elite ambassador here, and I've been with Q since end of November, start of December last year. So what the idea of this training is tonight, we are going to look at running them every month. We were going to have them at the start of each month, but because of the insane promos that they dropped on us, we did push it back a week just so that we could leverage and maximize that, and we've got more people coming in. Just to maximize, obviously, what Jake and Mark had put on the table. But the idea is that we're going to be running the mindset and the social media is on Wednesday. We're going to do them at the start of the month each month. Obviously, for existing ambassadors to plug into as well, but also for the idea is to help once we've launched our new ambassadors or newly enrolled ambassadors. It's just that little bit extra sort of I don't want to say kick, but push in the right direction to help set them up for the next day. And, you know, mindset is something really big that if you've been in the industry for a while or been in the industry before, it's something that we really need to make sure is in check and that, you know, is in because it is something that we do let ourselves down with, not even intentionally. So it's just about being aware and stuff of that. So we've just come up with this training to run through, and then social media. So it's all about branding you with Q. And every time I go to bring up the presentation, someone else is in the waiting room. 1 second again. And so I'm just going to share my screen in a moment. Okay. All right. So we're going to get into it. So this is only the second time that we are running through this. I hope you guys get a lot of value out of it. If you do have any feedback, please pass it on because yeah, it would be very much appreciated. Alrighty, so as I said, branding you with Q, and this portion tonight we're going to run through is mindset. So as I said, my name is Naomi. I've been here for just over 6 months. I'm a mum of 2. I am a Pilates instructor and very passionate about helping women, but mums in particular, grow their business. And mindset is something that I've love working on and continue to work on, and something that has helped me a lot to stay consistent and to hold the vision. And like I said at the start, it's something that we do not intentionally but let ourselves down with. People still coming in. All right, so life isn't about finding yourself, it is about creating yourself and the stories that you tell yourself as well, which we're going to get into here. Okay.
Some waters every.
All right, everybody can just make sure they are on mute, please. And if you've got a notepad and pen, or your notes on your phone or computer, it's fine as well. But there will be, or you can always just screenshot as well, because there's going to be a lot of information on some of these slides that you can screenshot and go back to. So success checklist, most of you should already be in these groups. If you're not, make sure you are plugging in. So we have quintessential women, obviously that is exclusive to women, or we have the Q Sciences Way for guys. So this is for customers. Obviously ambassadors can use this as too, but it is more like customer focused for testimonials on products and things. Occasionally we do giveaways and things in there as well. Q Science News, so this is run from like corporate, and where like Jake and Mark unleash those ridiculous promos that they have. That's where they will give you any updates on that. So that is every week. So it's our Tuesday morning at like 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Victoria. I'm not sure what that is across the rest of the world. And then we've got Team Q Force. So this is again just like our team page for recognition, announcement, anything that's going on, new business launch documents or trainings and stuff will be announced in there. So most of you should already be in there. Just reach out to the person who enrolled you and they'll be able to. So mindset, let's get into it. So everything starts with your mind. So what we think about the meaning and the meaning we give to those experiences. So it's not just like the event or the action that's happened, it's the meaning.
You need to brush your hair and do something with it.
The music, if you're not on mute, if you could just make sure you are, please. Thanks. So for example, it's the meaning that we attach to the event. So if you were to think of a rainy day, for me, I don't like rainy, gloomy days. I don't like winter. I prefer warm and sunshine, but I'm sure there will be people that prefer, you know, to snuggle up under a blanket on a cold and rainy day. But it's the meaning that you're attaching to that. So for me, it's, you know, it's moody, it's depressing, it's yuck, I don't get to go out and do that. So it's the meaning that you're attaching to the event or to whatever is happening. So big thing about it is really just being aware that, obviously, once you're aware of something, then you've got the you know, the choice to do something about that, or to change it, or to change the meaning that you're attaching to that. Okay, so we are going to go through a couple of things tonight. So the foundation, so your self-talk, what you are telling yourself is massive. So we're going to get into some affirmations, but the foundation involves identifying any limiting beliefs that we have formed, or that people may have unintentionally put on us. It could be teachers through school, parents a lot of the time, and our values, and creating affirmations that are aligned with us. So we're going to break that down in the next few pages. But limiting beliefs is when we hear things like, or you say things to yourself like, I'm an introvert. People say that all the time. I'm not good at talking. I'm shy. I can't make friends. I'm not as confident as you. So all of these limiting beliefs that you put on yourself, and it probably did stem from a school teacher saying something, or, you know, an aunt or your mother or whatever when you were younger. So again, it's about being aware and then learning to change that, or re-navigate or rewire that. So yeah, it's about just sort of reclaiming your power and identifying that limiting belief that you want it to stop. And I actually had a really cool tip on this, which I'm going to get to later in the session, of really cool, like, small steps that you can do to change these. So we're going to run through, oops, went too far. So many people keep coming into the waiting room. All right, so affirmations are statements. Most people will know what an affirmation is, but say exactly who we are, or what we want to be, or how we want to feel. So they are usually I am statements. I am worthy, I am loved, I am confident, these sorts of things. So they are powerful because there's something in the brain called structural tension. Structural tension is a relationship between a vision and your current reality. So it's important to attach. Can I just make sure everybody's on mute? Sorry, guys. Attach an affirmation to something. So I am the #1 income earner in Australia and New Zealand. I am a gold ambassador. I am a ruby ambassador. I am debt free. Like, attaching it to something and getting really clear on that vision, so you've got something for it to focus in on. So why does that keep going past 2? Okay, so here's some examples of some affirmations here. So I am enough, I am focused, I am worthy of love, I am worthy of success, I am consistent, I am a leader. So you can literally, as well, screenshot this, but you can literally go into Google and Google affirmations, and just any that sort of resonate with you. A lot of the time it might be really uncomfortable to say these things to yourself, depending on any sort of limiting beliefs or baggage. We've all got baggage, just varying levels, and that you might already have within yourself. And it might be really hard for you to say to yourself, like, I am worthy of love, like looking in the mirror and saying that to yourself. But a tip is, you know, to have it on your screensaver, on your phone, on your sticky notes, on your mirror, wherever it is, in your car, and say them to yourselves over and over again. So you want to find some that really resonate with you when you say them, or when you want to feel that within yourself. Now, when we're talking into your values, so there's some examples on another slide coming shortly, but think about who you admire, and I guess why you admire them. So whether it is a leader within Q, it could be just a motivational speaker, it could be a celebrity, it could be a business owner, just a friend, colleague, whatever. But just think about what it is about them that inspires you, and what qualities they have and behaviors that you would like to, I guess, take from them. Like, there's a few people I know in my life where it's like, if there was, and I've said this to them all the time, like, if there's more people like you in the world, the world would be a much nicer place, or like there needs to be more people like you. So identifying, sorry, more people coming in, identifying what those qualities are. But then it's when you feel most aligned and when you feel most yourself. So when you, you know, in situations that allows you to be your most authentic self, or most in alignment with you. So you're not feeling like you're more comfortable. You don't feel like you have to put on a facade or whatever. So in situations that feel wrong in some way, what's going it down? And, you know, if you have a notepad and pen, awesome. No, and not many people carry that around. Chuck it into your phone, but write down who you're with, what was triggered, what are those experiences, and then sort of you can work it backwards from there. But again, you can jump over to Google. That's where these have all just come from. So and identifying a handful of values that align and resonate with you. So I mean, family is probably my highest value. You know, obviously with Q you've got your faith, finances, fitness, but you know, gratitude, freedom, friendship, fun, learning, love, loyalty is a huge one for me. So just integrity is another big one for me. So finding, you know, a handful and getting really clear on your values as well. Now, these are some examples. So if you had freedom as one of your values, for example, so when what you value is with what you do is you're standing within integrity. Let's bridge the gap between the value and how to put that into action. So with freedom, here's some examples of actions that you could take. So if freedom was one of your values, you would be able to just express yourself freely and openly and not worrying about, you know, what others might think or criticize, which is going to happen because not everybody is going to 100% agree with you 100% of the time. I know, and I'm saying this really nicely, but I don't like everybody. So why would everybody like me? I'm sure I love all of you guys, but you know, there's people, and that's totally fine. You just have to get okay with that and just be your most true self. So build a life when you can create your own schedule, travel, and try new things, you know, nurturing new relationships with family that give you the freedom to be yourself. So becoming your own boss. So these are all, like, if freedom was one of your values, these are, I guess, things that you would put into place so that you're living within your true values. Wellness, again, so, you know, this is sort of a no-brainer, but you're fueling yourself, you know, with nutritious foods, you're staying active, you're looking after your mental health, and, you know, prioritizing your sleep, and, you know, you're just looking after your body if that was the, one of your values. So just living within alignment with your values or values of those that you look up to. So that's more people coming in. All right, now knowing your why. Most of you guys would have probably already heard this, but your why is, you know, the very basics of it, why you got into Q. So why is it that you wanted to create the additional income? And it's been a really, so I've been in the industry before in a different company, and I always knew my why at like a surface level was I wanted to be able to be home and be present with my kids, and I wanted to have a flexible option that I could work in and around them. But when I got really crystal clear, and there's an exercise that you can do, I highly recommend it. If anyone wants to know, I can send it over. It's called 7 Levels Deep. I did it with the lovely Lisa. I believe she's on the call. I think I saw her. Hi, Lisa. Basically, you get really clear and you ask yourself 7 times, 7 levels deep, as to why. So for me, it was, you know, why do you want to earn an additional income from it? Well, so I can stay home with my kids. Okay, why is it important for you to stay home with your kids? Because I want to be present with them. Why was it important for you to be present, etc., etc.? And you go down, and eventually it will, and it should. You've probably heard the phrase, if you've been in the industry for a while as well, your why should make you cry. And like, that's not, like, I actually don't particularly like that saying, because it's not about like just getting you to cry, but it's just when you get really clear into that rawness of it is so important to nothing is going to stop you from getting to that. And for me, it was something that I didn't even know was a trigger for me or a reason for me. I just want to be home with my kids. Like, that was it. But it went so much deeper than I was even aware of. But when I got so clear on that, nothing's going to stop me from getting out of bed that extra hour early and getting my reach outs or getting my connections done, because I know what I've attached that to and I'm so crystal clear. So if anyone wants any details on that, you can maybe just work through it on your own, but there's like a spreadsheet, you can sort of do it yourself, but just really sitting with it and getting super duper clear. Another thing you could look at doing as well, it's the same but different, is like a vision board. So and what you can do as well, so getting really clear on your big why, but also writing down any little whys as well. So again, notes on your phone, if at any time that you, I guess, would normally hold back from initially spending, or maybe you've just spent money and at the moment it might be the petrol pump because of cost of living, etc., that's going up. So but it could be, I want to get my nails done every week, so you're typing that into the notes. I want to be able to just go out and have, buy my coffee every morning instead of making my coffee. Like any little things like that you would normally be like not indulge yourself with, as like trivial as it is, whatever, if it's important to you, if it's something that's going to motivate you, just keep continuously adding to the list as well. But my big tip is getting clear on your big why, because that's what's going to get you out of bed, or staying up late when you're super tired. Okay, so the other thing with that, actually really quickly, is when you are, sort of a side note, but rewarding yourself or acknowledging yourself and giving yourself a pat on the back for the effort you're doing as you're taking the steps towards your goal. So rather than, not that you wouldn't reward yourself when you or celebrate yourself when you reached a goal or a rank or whatever it might be that you're working towards, but reward yourself and attach something positive to the little steps that you're making. So I got out of bed at 5 a.m. this morning to do XYZ. Whatever it is, those little steps that you're taking, make sure you're acknowledging that as well along the way. So the onion here, this is about, and you can draw this out if you want, take a screenshot, but changing your outcomes. So this level is concerned, so this is the outside layer of the onion, with changing your results. So if it was losing weight, publishing a book, winning a championship, most of your goals are associated with that level of change. The process, so this is the inside layer, so changing your process is concerned with changing your habits. So if it was losing weight, you have to change the process of what you're doing. So you have to go for start exercising 2 to 3 times a week. You have to change your habits with your eating style or whatever. So that's the actual process of it. But the deepest level, right in the middle, is changing your identity. And this level is concerned with changing your beliefs. So like I sort of touched on at the start, any limiting beliefs that you might have, your worldview, your self-image, any judgments that you have on yourself or others. Excuse me, I'm sound like I have a frog in my throat. So if you find yourself even resenting or envying as well, somebody that has something that you want, or they might appear to be particularly wealthy or particularly happy in whatever way you perceive them, a lot of the time if you're sort of resenting that, you're actually holding yourself back from that because you're attaching a negative feeling to what you see. So if you see someone super duper rich and you think, they just got it so easy, they just came from money, they didn't have to work hard for it, whatever, you're going to have that negative feeling or attachment to that. So it's your judgments about yourself or others. But most beliefs and assumptions you hold are at this level. And I was listening to a podcast just today, actually, and I thought it was really good timing. I'm going to start doing this, and it was about implementing. So if you want change, whether it's big or small, and there was a step if you want to completely drastically change your life, as in like you absolutely hate everything about it, then there's a whole different step. But if you you look at yourself and you're like, I'm happy, you know, I've got a job, I have a family, I'm healthy, I've got a roof over my head, you know, there's so many other people that are worse off than me, like, you know, I'm doing okay, like I'm, you know, should be grateful and sitting in that gratitude, like I'm cool, I've got this sort of thing. But there are still things that you might want to change. He suggested having a notepad, but I, again, would probably just use my phone because I always have my phone with me. Note down every time you notice something that you don't like or feel. And the example he used, like maybe you don't like that you always naturally, because in like the excuse me, involuntary response that might come through. So it could be the example he used was there was a girl that didn't like that she would always just sort of judge people from the outside in. So whenever she would do that, you know, you note that down. You know, or what's another example that he used? If something happened that made you feel a certain way that you didn't like, made you feel envious, made you feel like, you know, resentful or angry, or maybe, you know, you snapped at the kids, or maybe it was something with a hubby that you were just impatient, or whatever it was, noting it down in a notebook. So it's bringing awareness to it, but it's not just about being awareness, okay, cool, like, yeah, I snapped, or yeah, cool, I judged her for what she was wearing, or whatever. It's actually writing it down, bringing it more to your consciousness. And then at the end of the day, he's like, go through and write down the opposite, or what you would have liked to have done in that situation. And he's like, it's just a process of like rewiring. And eventually what will happen is you'll catch yourself like before you go to do that. Anyway, I thought it was really cool. He explains it way better on the podcast. If anybody wants that, I can send that to you as well. But that was a really cool thing, I thought. Okay, so the game plan here. Now, this is all about numbers and understanding. Now, with network marketing as well, again, I've heard this on another podcast. I love podcasts. I don't have time to sort of sit and read in the same sense. But network marketing is it's the only thing where time is not linear. So it's not about how long, it's how many. So I could have been in this industry for 3 months. You could have been in this industry for 3 months, and you could be sitting there thinking, well, she's been way more successful than me. I've been in it for just as long as her. Why haven't I been able? But, you know, it's about how many conversations you're having. So not how long, but how many. So it's about understanding the numbers. And, you know, especially at the start, it is a numbers game while we're learning, while we're finding our feet, and it's about learning and failing forward. So if you were to share with 10 people and 5 become new customers, just as an example, the more people you share, the more sales you're going to have. So over time, a customer base can lead to a very profitable business, especially like what I said with what they have just dropped on the table. But 1 customer a week, if we're talking to core, it would be 18,000. 3 customers a week would be 54,000. 6 customers a week would be 100,000. So knowing your numbers and breaking that down. Another thing that I do a lot with my team as well, or even just like for my own mindset, is if you got 2 like pro in customers, so you got 6 customers on Q Core or the Core Collagen bundle, you are covering your minimum spend in terms of your auto ship. So it's like $280, $270 something that you would be receiving. So if you break it down, like only need 6 customers, let's find 3 this month and 3 next month. It's a really like simple way to take away that overwhelm that, okay, cool, at least I'm having my auto ship paid for, my products are paid for. Now I can look and build further from there. So getting clear on your numbers, mapping it out, however that looks like for you. Again, if you're not sure with that, reach out to the person who's brought you in, and they can help you with that, aligned with how you want to build. Okay, so time blocking, another really important thing to do, something I still need to improve on myself, being totally transparent. So making sure you're blocking out time, but make for Q. But what I would suggest doing first, like we all have the same 24 hours in a day, and who has heard the excuse, I'm just too busy? It's like bullshit. Everyone has the same amount of time. It's what you prioritize within your time. You should see the state of my house now since starting Q, because the housework just does not get done. I mean, it does, but not like it was. And it's what you prioritize and you put on your list. So, but what I do suggest is mapping out. I use Google Calendar. You can use it in a long called time tree, and you can color code and make them all look pretty. But map out your 5 like or 6 values or things that are like your non-negotiable. So map out and block out your family time. Really suggest a date night if you are in a relationship. Or it could be a puppy date night. I don't know if you're a fur mama or dada, I don't know. But making sure you're blocking out those things first, those things that bring you joy. And, you know, most of us would be working a full-time or part-time job alongside of this as well, because most people, when you step into the industry, you are working with, hopefully, maybe this might be the thing that would eventually take over, but we all sort of start feeling it in around the pocket. So blocking the things that are the non-negotiables, the things that are not flexible, then have a look at your calendar and see, okay, where in my week do I have time for Q? And then holding yourself accountable to that as if it is a schedule or a meeting, just as if it was, you know, a hair appointment or a, you know, a work meeting like your traditional job. So this is an idea of what it would look like. Take a screenshot if you like. But I just use Google Calendar. It's good. It links with my Calendly app that I use with my team as well. So I really like that. And I use Gmail, so that works for me. I think most of my team use that as well, but definitely recommend doing that. Okay, so, this is literally what I just said. So how to time block. So put out your appointments, your business job, your kids' activities, health, so fitness as well. So that's so important for your mindset. And I actually feel like I get the most creative or inspirational. I get all of these cool ideas flooding into my mind when I'm just going for a jog, or because I'm not thinking about anything else, and it just like clears my mind. So that is really big for your mindset and obviously mood. Everyone knows how important exercise is, so make sure you're booking that into your time blocking as well. An idea which it's on here, content creation. Now, Beck's going to talk more into this on the social media side of things on Wednesday's call, but rather than feeling like you have to create content every day, map out like a day of the week or once a fortnight where you like plan out a heap of content, so that it is just there, so that, you know, every other day, or when you feel like, you know, you're wanting to post something or you haven't shown up in a while, that it's all there, so you not feel like you're constantly on your phone thinking or trying. And you can get sort of more intentional with your branding as well, and your more like the message that you want to get across, or how you want to show up and serve others. But Beck's going to talk more into that on Wednesday. Okay, so screenshot this if you like. These are just some good recommendations in terms of some reading. Obviously, we've been talking all about the mindset today. What we feed our mind with is massive in terms of our mood. I said this on the last call as well. I've blown away with how much of a difference it makes even to my connections or my reach out if I've done sort of my personal development beforehand, versus if I haven't, and I'm just like, I'm just going to wake up, I've got to get my connections done, I've had zero sleep, the kids are doing my head in, like whatever it is, and I'm just going through the motions. Whereas if I do that, and sometimes I will look at the same list of people and I'll be like, I can't talk, like there's nobody I can message today. Like, who has not felt like, I've messaged everybody, there's nobody else in the world that I can talk to. You know, that's one thing. And so I step away and I'll just be like, okay, well, I need to do something for me, something for my business. I'm just going to fill my cup, and I'll just like, you know, step away from the connecting, and I'll fill up with a good podcast. And the change, I'll then go back to the same list of people, and all of a sudden I've just shot off 10 messages and I don't know why. Or even on the other side of it is, sometimes I feel like I'll be saying the exact same thing in terms of what I'm typing, but my energy with what I'm putting into it, if I've done this work on myself first, or if I've noticed if I've been slack for a few days and haven't filled up my cup, then the quality of the conversations and my energy, even though I feel like I'm literally saying the same thing, it's the response I get is totally different, and it's bizarre. You have to just try it next time you're in a podcast, I promise. Anyway, if you're more of a podcaster like me, though, obviously you can get these on Audible or whatever, but some podcasts I really love to listen into is one of them, which I really love, is because it's only really short and sweet. It's called Quote of the Day by Sean Croxton, because they're only 10 or 15 minute episodes, and I'm a busy mum. We're all busy in and around things. And I don't always have an hour to sit down and listen to a podcast, or I have to like stop and start it all the time. So and sometimes I will end up listening to 3 in a row, but they're just short, sharp ones that I can sort of fill in. Otherwise, Mindset Mentor, that was one that I listened to today that I was talking about with that those tips for those small changes. And another one that I really like, what is it called? Sorry, I want to bring it up. So obviously Amy's one as well, Fierce Women, I do listen to that. Or The School of Greatness by Lewis Howes as well is another one. They go for like an hour though, so it's if you go a little bit more time. But and once you start to sort of listen to them, you'll find obviously whatever platform you're listening on, they'll recommend things that are oops, not doing that tonight. Okay, so recapping here on mindset. Now we're not going to do a half hour of power at the end of this tonight. We might do it on the end of the social media one on Wednesday, but just making sure that you have joined all of the necessary groups. You're in the chats, you're in the no reply chats. If you don't know what that means, chances are you're not in it, so reach out to the person who brought you in. Attend any team trainings that we have on. We do have take action calls in the morning on Beck's Zoom, which is 6:30 in the morning, Monday to Friday. So that's half an hour of just being intentional and, just an accountability call as well. Keeping track of any limiting beliefs that pop up and just being aware of them, writing them down is important too. And then I really love the idea of sitting down at the end of the day or when you've got a quiet moment to work through that a little bit more, identify how else you would like to approach that situation, or if you find yourself sort of speaking negatively to yourself, then that might be an idea for an affirmation of, I'm not good enough, I'm not confident, I can't talk like you or whatever. Then, saying the opposite, I am confident, I am, in my power, whatever it is. Make a list of your why. So make a list of any of the little whys, but I really suggest getting clear on your big why, because that's going to be the one that keeps you going when you're having your crap days and everyone's telling you no and you're like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? We all have days like that. Then getting clear on your values. So create a list of 10 to 15 values you can use to guide you. Like I said, there was that slide with some suggestions, or jump onto Google, but you want to, when you read them, it's when they sort of feel like they really hit or resonate with you, is a clue, or looking at someone who you admire, and decide on a goal. So I like to break them down into 90 days. So you could do like a 90-day goal, but have a 12-month goal as well. So you want it to be something not totally out of reach, but you don't want it to be too easy either. You need it to be something to sort of strive towards. And map that out, and then reevaluate every 90 days to see how far away you're tracking to getting there. But that is the mindset portion for this evening. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you guys got a bit out of that. I'm really open, would absolutely love some feedback. Like I said, this is only the second time we are running this, and we're going to try and do them once a month. But if anyone wants any more information on any of those podcasts or things to tap into, just reach out. And on Wednesday, we're going to do, let's be again, like about 30-40 minutes of the social media branding with Q, and probably like a half an hour take action call on the back end of that if you wanted to hang on for that as well. But thank you so much. I'm going to get this recording out for anyone that wasn't on here, but I hope you enjoy your Monday night and have a fabulous week, and go keep goals. Love to all of you. I hope you have a fabulous week.